Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Happy Place Creations. Today, I've decided to show you another set of my drewsies. And today, these are my Fireman badges. And you get 6 in the set, and I'm going to demonstrate it with 6 different colorings. And these are all by Let's Resin. Let me just go through them real quickly. This is metallic powders. This is the silver. This is rustic gold. This is copper. This is bronze. And this one is antique gold. This only comes in a 5 set. So I decided to pull out another one of my Let's Resin's holographic powder fine flakes. So those are the 6 I've chosen for the 6 different badges that we're going to use today. And I'm going to make them into coasters just so we can demonstrate them. So let's get with coloring our badges. I'm going to pull out a piece of wax paper just to keep my workspace clean. Usually wipe it down with a baby wipe. Just to get my surface a little wet so that the wax paper will stick. And then we will pull out some badges. And we will get these guys colored. And get them into the coaster. I'm also going to bring out my switching sponge. And I'm going to start with the holographic first. And these are flakes, and that's the reason I'm starting with them first. You just want to put it on literally. And then you want to rub it in. So it's in nice and tight. Excuse me just a moment. I just heard my dog squeal. Alrighty, I'm back. Sorry about that. We'll continue right here where we were. And just put a little bit on and just keep rubbing it in because this is flakes. And again, this is the type you don't want to have any fan on because this will fly all over. You do want to get your edges very well. As you notice, I'm doing the pat technique. I'm rubbing it in, making sure it's all sticking where I need to put it. Flakes stick to silicone very well. And these badges are very detailed, so you want to really get them down into the grooves and the seams. Just like I'm doing. When you're using a mica powder, it's a little bit different application versus using the flakes. Normally I would be wearing a mask. However, my nose is kind of plugged today and I have a bit of a sore throat, so I'm not wearing a mask today. So I'm just making sure it's all nicely rubbed in. And then when I'm done, the rest of them is when I will blow them all off. I don't want to blow right now because then it will blow on all the other ones. Isn't that pretty? Can you see the badge coming to life on the screen? Alrighty. Whoops, I guess we have that pretty well covered. So I will put the cover on this before I spill it. I'll clean off the brush. And I'm going to clean off this one right next to it. And we're going to go with the silver for our next color. And again, here comes the badges coming to life with a little mica powder. And this is the silver. I think I said that, but doesn't hurt to check. And again, you want to get your edges nice. And it says Fire Department, and it has the symbol right on the top. And another one I will blow off when we're done. Just going to take this over here to clean it off. And the next one is the Rustic Gold. I'm going to use this one over here. And again, I want to make sure I have my edges as well. As well as the fine grooves in the sides for the badge. And the next one is the bronze. Aren't these pretty colors? And again, edges. And again, I will blow that off when we blow off the rest of them. I hope everyone's having a good day today. Doesn't seem to be bad weather today. This is the copper. And the last one is the antique gold. And now that is all 6 colors. And now that I'm done with all 6 colors, I'm going to rinse off my brush. Scrape it off with the sponge, and then I'm just going to wipe it off with my baby wipe and put it to dry. And now I'm going to use my little scoop to set it in to the mold. I'm just putting in mold release, and I sprayed a little bit too much out of my bottle. So pick it up, and I put it in like this. And that's how I do a transfer. I'm sorry, I had a bit of an interruption, but I continued putting them in, except for the last 2, so I could show you how I was doing it. I pick it up, I blow off the excess powder, and then I place it in the mold as best that I can. It's not quite centered, but each time you move it, you're going to leave a powder mark, and that you don't want to move it around too much, especially with the glitter one. So you want to try to put it centered as best you can, like so. And then I'm going to pull out my wax paper and try to keep a clean workbench. And then there's our coasters ready for pouring. Now I will mix up some resin and I will be right back and we shall pour. Okay, I have the resin all mixed up. This is Let's Resin. Resin? This is not fast cure. So I am going to set this on my heat mat so we can look at these in a little while. So let's get pouring. I'm just going to pour just a little bit so that I can secure the druzy, but not enough that I will allow it to float. You notice I'm pouring high up and directly in the center of that druzy so that it will get all around it to secure it to the mold, but will not allow it to float. That's what we don't want. We don't want it to float. We want just enough put down to secure the druzy to the mold, but not allow it to float. I didn't quite get that one centered, but this is for demonstration purposes. And I'm pouring it high to eliminate bubbles. Just enough to get the druzy started and to secure it to the mold without letting it float. That one didn't seem to have enough in it. And look at that one. Look at all the powder floating. That one's going to be a sparkly one. I'm not so worried about covering the inlay at this point. I'm just worrying about securing it to the mold. So whatever I don't use, I will use in something else. And them all look like, I want them to be roughly the same for this first layer. And then we'll be back for a next layer, which will cover the druzy. I'm going to continue with that one right on the top. Look at the colors coming out. Isn't that going to be gorgeous? All right, well, I will find something else to do with the little bit I have left. But this is as far as we're going to go with this so far. Now I will put this on my heat mat. And once these are cured enough that we can pour the next level, I will be back. Also, one thing before I go, you do need to just go around each one and make sure you're getting all the bubbles out of the edges. Because this is where bubbles love to hide. And if bubbles do occur, just pull them to the top and get rid of them. Like so. I am going to give them just a quick little alcohol burst. Like so. Just to prevent any bubbles that want to form right now. Because we don't need bubbles in the middle of where we're trying to start. And it looks like I have something in here. Either that or it's the gold powder coming off. Let's get that right out of there. But that one I'm going to leave. I like how that's happening. See, the X6 powder is floating to the top. But that, I really like that. So I'm going to leave that one. So I will see you in a blink when these are ready to be looked at for the next level. Hey guys, I'm back. They're ready for the next level or next layer. I'm going to add some of the diamond dust just so we can have a little glitter in them, a little sparkle, except for that one. I was thinking that maybe I should put some of this in around it so that it would look like that one, but I'm just going to go with the diamond dust. What I do with my spoon. Well, I don't want to take it out of camera shot. All this is just fine little crystals crushed up. Just enough to put a little bit of sparkle. And just put it in and mix it up. Oh, I just caused some big bubbles. But they'll come out. Because she's pretty warm. I just had it sitting in some warm water to get some bubbles out. Let's see, how's that mixing in? Crystals are sitting on the bottom. There we go. Let's mix her up. I'm sorry I'm out of camera shot. I had to pick it up to make sure I'm mixing in my crystals. I don't want all the crystals sitting at the bottom, and I can barely see them on this stick. So I'm going to add a little bit more. There we go. And all I'm doing now is making sure that the inlay is covered for this next layer. And I said I weren't going to add the crystals in this one, and I just totally forgot to dump that one first. So it's going to have sparkles in it. Just want to make sure that the inlay is covered. This one formed a bubble, and I wasn't here to catch it. I had run to the grocery store. I'd hope I mixed up enough. They all seem to be covered, and that was my goal for this layer. And once again, I'm just going to go around the edge lightly to try to deter any bubbles. And there we have the second layer. And they are all covered. So now we wait for this layer to cure. Let's see, how far down is that one? Not very far, is it? Neither is that one. They're not very far underneath there, but they are under there. I may have to mix up just a little bit more and pour a little bit more on these, but I will do that off camera. You don't need to see me pour more, but I will be back when these are ready. Well, it's the next day, and these have all cured. Let's see how they turned out before we go on to the next step. Let's just pop them all out. And remember, you want to clean up your molds as soon as possible and get them out of any fluorescent lighting. So I'm just going to set mine right over here, folded up neatly out of the lighting so it doesn't ruin my mold until I have the few minutes to clean that up. But anyway, I'm saving that one for last because that looks like it's going to be the best. But let's see. Now this one got a few bubbles. Like I had said, I wasn't able to be right here to keep an eye on it. But now we just pop the inlay right out. Put that in some warm soapy water. And then that leaves the imprint of the Fireman badge. Let's go to the next one. Yep, see there's still powder on it. So we just got to get that wiped off. And again, there's a perfect imprint of the Fireman badge. Oh, oh, that one had a little bit underneath it. It just flew over. And like I showed you before, but I will show you again, just pick up on it and it should pop right off. If not, just grab a pair of nail clippers. Well, these are cuticle cutters, and did you hear that snap? That broke it right off. And there it is. That one's clear. And on to the next one. This is the silver. And then you have the little symbol in the middle. And then it says fire department. I'm looking in the camera like you are. Sorry. And now, this is the one that was made with Let's Resin flakes. This one had some overflow. But overall, they did great. Nothing underneath. Now see, that's very light now that we took the druzy out. But that's okay. We're going to rectify that problem. Let's just get this stuff out of here before we pour anything else. Okay. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to mix up some resin, some black resin, and we're going to fill in where the badge itself is. But I'm not going to put black on the back here. We're just going to fill in the opening so that you can see the imprint. I've showed you before where we filled the whole back. Now I'm going to show you just how we fill the imprint. So I will get the resin mixed up and I will be right back. Be back in a blink. Okay, I have the resin all mixed up, and this is unicorn art, and it's very strong smelling, so I'm having to wear my respirator while I'm talking to you, so I have a microphone in my mask. So if it sounds like I'm muffled or in a secluded room, it's because I'm wearing my lovely respirator. So let's get going on to the project. I have my resin mixed up, and this is unicorn art, and it's virtually bubbleless. I mean, it's just amazing stuff. But it's a very thin resin. But today I'm going to use my Casting Craft black for the black coloring for the back of the badges. So let's just add some black. Let's see if that's going to be enough. Sorry, I'm out of camera again. Camera shot, I should say. And that looks like that is going to be enough. Let me just make sure I'm scraping the sides of my cup. Make sure I'm getting it all mixed in nice. I chose this one because it's a liquid instead of a mica powder. That way I know I'm not going to have a bunch of clumps and stuff. Alrighty, let's get to pouring. And like I said, I'm just filling up the badges. I'm not using this as my background. I'm going to let that settle. If you've done resin before, I'm sure you know what a rush it is to do this. It's awesome. If you've never tried doing resin before, you really got to try it. It's so relaxing and it's so beneficial. It is only a little bit on the expensive side, but once you've tried it, you will be addicted. I'm just taking the black to the edge. I can see here where I didn't peel off enough of the sides. Now if I can find my tweezers. I move things around so much that I forget where I put things sometimes. Plus I'm trying to get things situated so I can move my camera to give you guys a much better view. So I'm not always out of view. I don't know. I will be putting these on the heat mat. So that I can reveal them in a little while. But I'm still trying to decide if I want to put a full backing on them or if I want to keep them clear. I think we all have enough in there. So now I just gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with this extra skin. And I went over on that one, so I'm gonna clean that right off. Okay, I'm going to move this tray out of the way and I'm going to bring in something else that we can put this black into. I will be back in a blink. Well, I have found a couple little molds that I'm going to try to make some jewelry with. I thought we'd make a couple pendants. And I'm just putting in some tiny crystals. And let's see how they come out. I'm sorry, I forgot to turn on the camera sooner. And I've already filled up 2 of them. Let's put some resin in there. I've overflowed it. Because I had too much on my stick, but that can be rectified. I've got to move all those get it in between the little beads so that it will sink down in. But I don't want it too much in the front. I just want it enough to hold the beads for a background. Right now I'm basically just getting the bubbles out. Can't guarantee how this is going to turn out. I'm just going to take out some of that extra. So, that's better. Now let's go to the next one. In fact, I'm going to turn over to my little cup here. See if this helps me at all. Well, let's just pour this one first. And let that one settle while we pour this one. This one's going to be plain black. Because we're going to put an emblem on the front of it. I do have the coasters over on the heat mat. Or should I say the heat plate? See a bubble right there. Get that out of there. heart pendant. Now with the unicorn art, we have 30 minutes to get it into a mold before it will start gelling. Like I said, oh, and it's starting to get warm, so I need to get moving. So I will get these poured, and then I will pause, and I will not be back until the coasters are ready. Meanwhile, I will put these on the hot plate and have these ready at the same time. Well, that's all for now. I will be back in a blink. Hi everyone, I'm back. And our coasters are ready to be turned over and looked at. Now, remember I used the Let's Resin metallic powders? The rustic gold, the silver, the bronze, copper, and the antique gold, and the holographic powder of the fine flakes. Now this one is the fine flakes. Now I'm going to try to match these up the best that I can, and I believe this one is the silver. So we'll start with that one first. This is with the black behind it. See how it stands out better? And this is the silver. And this one is the antique gold. And this one is the bronze. And this one had a couple bubbles that I didn't catch. I wasn't quite home. This one is the rustic gold. Aren't these beautiful metallic colors? Oh, that one I'm saving for last. And this one is the copper. Nope, I was wrong. This is the rustic gold. And I have that upside down. And this one was the copper. And now this one is the holographic flakes. Look at that. And I'm holding it upside down. But aren't these just beautiful? And that is my Fireman badges. Colored with mica powder, placed in resin to make coasters. Now you can leave them like this, or you can put a backing on them. Let me see. We could put a white backing on them, or we could put, say, a black back on them. You could put any color you want, or you could just leave them like they are and put a cork on the back of them. Let me see if I can grab a thing of my cork board. This is my cork board. Or you could put cork on the back. That wouldn't look bad. Or just some cork on the back. You could do anything you'd like. But that is how my druzies work. Well, I'm going to take a break for just a second, and I will go get the jewelry that we made. So I will see you in a blink. Okay, let's pop these out and see how they came out. Remember, I added those little crystals, and let's see how they turned out. Well, you can't really see the crystals. On the front anyway. The back you can see them a little. It's probably going to be the same here. I probably should have used clear. But this is what happens. Trial and error. That's what it's all about. So I probably won't do anything with them ones. But this one, it's nice and black, plain. And these ones I didn't add anything to. I left them plain. So they're just plain. So just plain. And let's see what we can do to dress them up. I just pulled out some little trinkets. I'm going to take out my big clippers. Hopefully these will work. If not, I'll have to get something. That's a kitty cat. Let's try putting the big kitty cat on this one. Let's see if the clippers are going to work here. I doubt it. I'm going to take a moment and find what new tools I'm going to need, and I will be right back. Alrighty, I think I'm set up now. I'm just going to take my little snippers here and just kind of twist that off, if possible, without hurting my kitty. And have that snap across the room like it is. Just filing it down a little bit. I'm sorry I'm off camera. I snipped the end off and now I'm just filing it down. Just bringing it in level. I couldn't get too close because of the ears. So I think I'm just going to put the kitty right there, like so. So we'll put the kitty right there. We'll find something to put on the heart. Another kitty cat. We don't want another kitty cat. How about this peace symbol? That's too big. I got this little set. I'm not sure if I got this on Amazon or Temu, but it's got a lot of different little things in it. Oh, there's a big butterfly. Oh, it's still too big. Dragonfly. Oh, it's a nice pretty rose. See if I can put that on there. And again, I'm just going to snip the top off. When it's possible. It looks pretty thick. And that one was thick. I'm going to put that one right there on the heart, like so. Let's see what we can find for these ones. I need something long. That one looks like a key. That one's too big. Put a music symbol. That looks pretty. Well, I'm going to show you how I do these. And then I'm going to finish them up and bring you back and show you what I've done. So what I have is I have some J. Diction UV resin. And what I'm going to do is I am just going to fill this up. And don't worry about if you fill in the hole, you can always go back and drill it out. You just want to fill it up nice and good, enough to cover the kitty, but not go over the edge. And then you want to use your torch. And find my torch. See, I'm going over the edge. I overflowed it. That's what you don't want to do. But there's no rush. It's not going to harden on you or anything like that. Just let it run its course. Most people would probably grab their light and try to get it hard. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to let it run its course. Let it smooth itself out. Clean up the little bit of mess here. up the sides. Because every time I touch it, I make more of a mess. Now she has settled. Done running over. I've cleaned up the sides. And now I need to grab a lighter and I'll be... Well, guys, they're all done. I made the kitty into a keychain. I made this one a cross, and I made that one a keychain. I made this one a musical note, and I made that one into a necklace. I made the heart. I put a little flower on that, and I made that a necklace. And I made the circle one a necklace, and I put a crown on that one. Well, this is how these ones turned out, and I appreciate you joining me today. I hope everyone is happy and healthy. I hope your crafts turn out amazing. Please check out my eBay store that's linked in the description. And have a blessed day, and I will see you in the next video.